Alright, welcome back. It's time to take a look at the new Platoon. This is the T54. Now the T54 is the first rank 6 medium tank. More of the rank 6 vehicles will be released with time, but this is the first one, and this is honestly quite a fun Platoon, and this is a very fun to drive vehicle. I would actually say that this might be the best rank 6 vehicle at the moment. Well, it's the only one, but it might be the best overall. So let's take a look at this Platoon a little bit more in detail. Now I have the T10A or the IS-8 unlocked, and I'll be covering this tank in one of the next videos. And then there is the Object 906 and this thing. Which is also quite interesting. But today we will be taking a look at the T54. So, weapon caliber 100 millimeters, speed 50 km per hour, reverse 8 km per hour, specific power 15 horsepower per ton, mass 36 tons. It has 4 crew members, penetration 219, reload is 10.5 seconds, turret rotation speed 10 degrees per second. Now the front protection, front armor is really good. If you want to penetrate the tank from the front, you shoot the lower plate. Now I found that right in the center of the tank seems to be the best spot for penetration, but you can also shoot high explosive at the top of the vehicle. I would aim at the commander's hatch if you have a high caliber, high explosive shell loaded, because on the top of the turret armor it's, well, basically no protection there. So if you land a shell, high explosive shell, on top of this thing, it will die. it will basically die in one hit. So either aim a high explosive shell on top of it or try to aim at the lower plate. From the side, well, it's fairly easy to destroy this tank. Basically aim below the side armor, between the tracks. That's where the ammo rack is located. The ammo is actually located below the turret, so it's very easy to set the turret on this thing up in the sky. So if you're driving the tank, make sure that you have the toughest armor pointed towards your enemy, and make sure that the side armor is well covered. And the rear armor, well, the rear armor is also quite vulnerable, but the sides of this thing are, generally speaking, very, very vulnerable. The turrets from the front is really well armored, except the top of the turret. The top of the turret, as I mentioned before, if you land one high explosive shell there, the tank is destroyed. But the side armor is well protected, and the rear armor is also pretty good, but the top of the tank is quite paper. Now soon they'll add the X-ray mode, so that I'll be able to show you all of these things in detail when that is out. Now as for the upgrades, well, I'm working on the upgrades slowly, and these are the current upgrades that I have. So far it's okay, I would say, but yeah, I have to grind a lot more. But honestly, it's a very, very, very fun to drive vehicle, and I honestly enjoyed flying. I honestly enjoyed driving this tank so far. So, with that being said, time to show you some gameplay. Alright, let's jump in the first match for today. Now, I primarily like to drive medium tanks, but I also like to drive tank destroyers, and occasionally I like to drive some of the heavy tanks, but as it stands at the moment, I really do like to drive the medium tanks, and the T54 might be my favorite one. So, first match, and here I like to go in the corner with this vehicle. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So already a lot of things happening, and I already missed the first shots. Alright, fair enough. Now I'm trying to get to the corner of the map right next to the lake. That's the place where medium tanks should be standing. You want to make sure that your turret is only visible, because they will probably not penetrate your turret. Now I have to admit I was a little bit lucky that I have survived that impact from the Death Star. The Death Star, the hash that it's firing isn't really good against sloped surfaces, and it did hit my track, and the track did eat all of the damage, so I survived. But now, oh, there's the Death Star, and Death Star killed. Alright, good. So, I can technically stay here since only the top of my turret is visible, but we are currently losing, and I have to do some carrying, I guess. Now I just got the vehicle here while recording this, so it is not upgraded. It lacks the upgrades, so it is not going to behave as the previous maxed out tanks that I had. So this is basically the position that you want to hold, and I got hit by a rocket and I'm alive somehow. Now the rockets can penetrate. I think they did hit my side was visible, but I repaired on time, and one hit at the front of that vehicle was enough. Now, and the ammo type is APHE, which is a very interesting ammo type, because if it penetrates, it does a lot of damage inside. So if you land a penetrating hit, then you are killing the target in most cases. So you are not going to waste a lot of time shooting a target with the T-54, which is a good thing. Some of the previous tanks that I used are not really working like that. In some cases, the AP shells that they use seem to be quite ineffective at disabling vehicles. Not ineffective at penetrating, but they're ineffective at doing damage inside of the tank, while this shell does a lot of damage if it goes in, and so far I'm pretty happy with the tank's performance. Now this tortoise is slowly coming up around the corner. Now I'm trying to make sure that my armor is angled, so that if the tortoise starts to shoot at me, it hits the toughest point on the tank. The T54, if angled, is really difficult to penetrate. You really want to aim at the top of the turret of the tank with high explosive. Now I found out that the high caliber turrets, high caliber guns, have a much easier time to disable the T54 if you are using high explosive in the turret. The low caliber guns seem to struggle. So with the low caliber guns, you definitely want to try and penetrate the tank. But with the high caliber guns, just aim with high explosive at the top of the tank, and if it goes in, the T-54 is dead. That's how you disable this vehicle. Now, the tortoise has released a smoke screen, and they're behind those rocks there. Now, one bad thing that I would say about this tank is its turret rotation. The turret rotation is very slow, and you want to rely on the maneuverability of the vehicle. It is quite maneuverable when you are moving around. It's a very fast tank, but the turret isn't rotating that fast, so you definitely want to rotate the whole tank alongside the turret if you need to quickly aim towards a target, which kind of does help at evading. It does help at preventing you from showing the weak armor to the enemy, because you have to turn the whole tank if you want to rotate faster, but I haven't really found that turret rotation to be a big problem with this tank. Okay, next a T-34 and a Death Star. The Death Star has a priority, and that aircraft did try to kill me, but they failed. Although I'm fairly sure next time they'll return with a bomber, and then I'm in some trouble. Alright, so far so good. Ammunition exploded. We can take a look at how the shell ballistic performs when it penetrates the tank, when it penetrates the target. Can help at planning where to shoot, although I usually aim at the weak spots. Okay, that tank has also been destroyed. T-95 in the middle. Oh, I got hit in the back by something. My engine has been destroyed. Well, not destroyed, but damaged. So now my speed has been significantly reduced, and at this moment I didn't even have any upgrades, so I wasn't able to repair the engine, so I'm basically stuck with what I have. Now, who shot me in the back? I'm about to find out. Although the tank is quite crippled, but... Oh, a tortoise, alright. And you shoot the tortoise right here in the turret, in the mini turret. 1 or 2 hits should be enough to kill the tortoise. That's the weak spot of the tank. Another T-54. I haven't used the T-44, but I've heard it's a pretty fun to drive tank. I like the T-54 more. 1 shell in the engine, the other shell, if this tank would move, would be placed in the turret, but I guess I'm not going to get the chance to do that, or I will. Oh, come on. I told you that they'll come back with a bomber. And yes, they killed me with a bomber. Anyway, let's go back in the T-54. Now, so far, this has been a pretty good save, actually. We are winning at the moment. Although it is still far from victory. Have to try and recapture Zone A. M26E1. Okay, that's a nice view and nice shot at the turret. Okay, let's drive towards Zone A. Have to destroy the tank that's been camping. Hello there. Ammunition exploded. Alright. What do we have here? Oh, the Death Star did finish the tank. Alright, nice. And one important thing about the T-54, you can do donuts. Technically donuts, although you catch the drift. You can spin around, you know. I like to do this with this tank. It's fun. Alright, that was a sweet match. Good save, actually. Did not expect to win that one, but we won somehow. Alright, well, let's go to the next one. I think I should just cut the loading screen. Why does it take to load so long? I haven't seen many players play the game on high settings. I feel like I'm the only one who plays the game on maximum and on 120 frames per second, although my device has an average of 60 frames per second on maximum, which honestly it's still pretty good, since this device is... Well, actually, it's not old. It's not that old, but the chip's like 3 years old now or something like that. Now, on this map, you want to get in the position where you can have a good view on the base and basically cover good flanking positions. I like to go here, since I have a very good view. Now, the T10A or the IS-8 can be a tough tank. The weak spot on the T10 is the same weak spot on the T54. You try to shoot at the top of the turret. Preferably you want to shoot it with high explosive, although again I noticed that to work really well with the high caliber turrets, with the high caliber guns. With the low caliber ones, try to penetrate, but at the same time, if you can't really get in the position to have a view on the weak spot, then try the high explosive in the turret, in the top of the turret. Preferably try to aim at the commander's hatch just for orientation, but basically top of the turret should kill the tank if you land a high explosive shell right there. Now, so far we are holding this position. We have the upper hand at the moment. Now the T-10A is quite a dangerous vehicle, and as you can see from the front, you can't really do much with the armor piercing shell. But if you land a shot below the tracks, you have to try to avoid hitting the spot where it has spaced armor. That thing has spaced armor at the side, so it is quite difficult to penetrate if you are shooting at the side. But if you are shooting at the point between the track and the side armor, basically a little bit below the side armor, you have a good chance of killing the tank in one hit. That's the weak spot on the T-10A. Now, as you can see, the T-54 cannot penetrate another T-54, even if you're shooting at the lower plate, because it is very angled, and overall the T-54 is a very tough opponent, especially from the front. So I should have been aiming at the turret, but since I have armor piercing and there are a lot of other tanks running around, I don't want to load high explosive and miss out on destroying the other tanks. So if the T-54 is still alive, at the end I'll use high explosive and I'll put that high explosive in the turret of the T-54. Now the T-54 doesn't have that problem. The T-44, my apologies. The T-44 doesn't have that issue, but it can be easily penetrated if you shoot it at the front point of the turret, or basically shoot it at the lower plate. That's where you penetrate that tank. So far it's looking pretty good. We are holding the base. Now the enemy team is trying to go from the side, but I could probably go and change position, but there is no reason for me to do that at the moment. T-44. Now, yeah, that was a bad shot. I shot at the angled turrets, which obviously at that angle would never penetrate it, but it's fine. I'll shoot at the lower plates, and there we go. One nice shot at the lower plate, and the T-44 is destroyed. Alright, so now what do we have here? Panzer 4, and somehow, well, not Panzer 4, Panther. There was a Panther. It didn't penetrate somehow from the front. Alright, fair enough. Tiger and T-54 and a bunch of other tanks. I hit spaced armor. Actually, no, I didn't. I hit just below the spaced armor, but I really didn't hit the tank where it should have been hit, so it survived the first hit. But most of the crew of the T-10A is now killed, so now they are stuck there for a while. Another Panther killed. That was a nice penetrating hit. We are still holding the position really well. IS-2. I hit below the turret. Didn't kill the tank, but it did injure the crew. And the next shell, there we go. Ammunition exploded, beautiful. Panther F, also trying to go to the base. I have to prevent them from doing that. They were quick. They were quick, and I haven't managed to hit them. So that means I'll have to move forward. Let me see if I can. Oh, there is the Panther, and it bounced. All right. Not really sure how, but okay. I guess the angle the angle has to do something with it. And the Panther is gone. They have reset the base. We are winning, but oh, and I left my sides. And that's what happens when you land a shell at the side of the T-54. It gets destroyed in one hit. So I'll have to deal with that light tank that is at that flanking position. Now this thing is fast. I love the speed of the T-54. It is a very, very fast tank. There's the AMX. AMX destroyed. Now I can go back in my little position here and hopefully cover the base. A tortoise. Let's shoot at the weak spots. That was a nice hit. Had a good angle, and that's what happens when you hit the tortoise with a good angle. Well, good angle for penetrating. I have to be more specific. Okay, launching the smoke screen. Let's go to the side to pay a visit for this tank that's camping here. Okay, nice hit. Now I can go and capture the base. And hopefully we will win this match. Fingers crossed, of course. Alright, capture the base. Let's change positions so that I can cover the base as best as possible. Well then, since we are already winning, let's do some donuts. There we go. That was a nice victory. Good teamwork and overall very nice. Very, very nice. Alright, that was a good match. Let's go to the next one. So, this time I'm back on this map, and this time I will show you the same position but from the other team. So you want to go to that little corner of the map right beside the water, since you can have a good position and you do have a lot of protection. Only your turret will mostly be visible. And what we have here, a object 906. I didn't shoot the object in the right spot and it survived. But the object has literally no armor, so it's very easy to penetrate the tank. This rock right here is going to be my friend for this match. I have a bunch of tanks in this position, and as long as I can keep this position, I can keep my team from being flanked. Now I'll take advantage of my angled armor. The Char 25T cannot penetrate the front of the T54, so that's not a big threat, but I'm more worried about the hill to my left, and I'm a little bit worried about bombers and other aircraft, but here you do have a fantastic view on the incoming enemy tanks, and if I can hold this position, then this is going to be a pretty easy victory. Now I have to be careful not to get sniped from the hill there. There could be a little bit of my tank visible there. Okay, that was a good shot at the anti-aircraft vehicle, although they can also be very good at blasting tanks, but yeah, anti-aircraft is the primary reason. Okay, 3 things. That's a T10A. I did a critical hit. Now this medium tank is is already becoming a little bit annoying, so I have to deal with it. No, let's not show the side to a Yak Tiger. You have to be careful against the Yak Tigers. They can still kill you because they have a high caliber turret with high explosives they can use to slap the high explosive shell right at top of your tank. Okay, let me shoot at the weak spot. It did hit. It killed the machine gun operator and it killed the driver. Now I'll try to aim at the turret port right there. It did penetrate. It did some damage, but it didn't kill the tank. Usually, if you land a shot right there, it does kill the tank, but in this case, it didn't. Tiger 2, show me the side of the turret. Lovely, lovely hit. Okay, Yak Tiger still there. It didn't penetrate somehow, or I didn't. Bad luck. Waiting for the shell to go in, waiting for the Yak Tiger to shoot, so that I can peek out while they are reloading. That's how I deal with those tanks. Okay, I hit the track. The track ate all of the damage. I'm still holding this position, by the way, and there's a sniper at the top, and they're trying to shoot at me. Let me see if I can get a good shot at that AMX. No penetration, really? Alright, that landed at the top of that tank. It should have penetrated, but I guess not today. And they killed my gunner. Alright, so let's not play with that. That's not a... I'm at a disadvantaged position. They hit the top of the tank, the top of the turret, and that's why it penetrated. Since they're using armor piercing, that's why I'm still alive. If they were using something else, I would be dead, but thankfully it's armor piercing. The Yak Tiger did show me the side, but they know that I'm here. And yes, they know. They looked at me. Okay, fair enough. They looked at me. That thing on the hill is kinda annoying. But the Yak Tiger is also a problem. They fired, but I'm not gonna play with that. Not going to risk. Not yet. Waiting for the... I'm waiting for the right moment to show up. I will try to get that AMX if possible, but... yeah, that's... okay, it did penetrate, but I did only kill the commander, unfortunately. That was a headshot on the commander. I definitely do not want to be inside of that tank now. It's probably very messy inside. And another critical hit. This one did do quite a bit of damage. Basically killed all the crew in the turret, and it did set the tank on fire. Alright. Waiting for my tracks to be fixed before I can move on. I don't think that they will show up. Oh, they did show up, okay. And now I destroyed the cannon. Lovely. Well, I definitely don't have luck against that AMX, so I'll just go back here. That Yak Tiger is still looking at me. They have been looking at me for a very long time now, but they have been destroyed at the end. Alright, fair enough. So now this side is a little bit more clear, so I can peek out and perhaps get a shot on this guy that's camping the hill. I missed it. Alright, fair enough. They are moving left and they're moving up and down, so of course I miss. Alright, fair enough. They're still quite hidden there at the top of the hill. Yeah, they're still there. Now they're behind the rocks. Okay. Oh, an aircraft. They crashed. I expected bombs, but so far no bombs, which is good. If there were bombs, I'd be dead. Nope, and they hit my engine. Okay, that was my fault. I reversed at the wrong angle, and now my tank is on fire. Lovely. Waiting for the engine to be fixed so that I can move. Well, my engine is fixed, but it's still kind of broken, so I'm not going to be moving that fast anywhere. I have to move. No, it's not looking that good for now. We seem to be losing. Actually, no, we are winning. Okay, both of the bases are being captured. Now that AMX is running on 2 crew members, or 1 crew member actually. I don't know how many crew members are left in the tank, because I killed most of them. But I'm also not in a good position here. Well, technically I am in a good position, but since my engine is quite damaged, I might not be able to drive around very quickly as I usually do. So I have to make sure that I account for that. Let me jump in a plane for a second. Okay, since this is a bomber, I'll try to release the bombs when... Okay, now let's drop some bombs here and some bombs there and some bombs right there. It did do some damage, but nothing too significant. And the AMX is... yeah, looks like the AMX is dead. Alright, fair enough. Let's go forward. Let's go forward a little bit. I have 8 armor piercing shells left. Should be enough for the match. And 9 high explosive shells should also be enough. I rarely use high explosive on the T54. Mostly I'm using armor piercing high explosive because APHE, because you know it's just really good ammo. Let's just go and capture the base. Since we are already winning the match. I think we're winning the match, but it's still not over. Okay, we are capturing the zone. This is zone B, and it looks like we are going to win the match. Let's see if I can get at least one more kill until the end. Hey, I got one kill. Nice. That was a good one. And there is a T-54. I missed, I did hit the viewport. Lower plate of the T-54, of the T-44, and it's been destroyed as well, and we won. That was a very good match. Alright, well, that was the T-54. Definitely a very fun to drive tank, and if you like medium tanks, then definitely give this tank a shot. It's honestly extremely fun to drive. So, hope you guys enjoyed this little run with this tank. If you want to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe, and as always, I'll see you next time.